Okay, welcome everyone to today's tutorial. We're going to see how we can design this or something slightly different from what we have here. We are going to see if we're going to improve it or we will just stick with the idea because we have something that's quite pleasing. So, in the previous video, I showed you how you could create basic shapes or you could create shapes that are a little bit confusing or apply effects to shapes and how you could come out with just simple results. I hope you did practice with those and also tried new or different ones that you could find online. So today we're going to be replicating this design with our own idea, with our own perspective to see how we can come up with something maybe better or but before that, I'll try to give you just a rundown, a quick background or a quick rundown of the elements and principles of designs because we are going to be applying that in conceiving or bringing out our own idea. So we have the principles and also have the elements of design. We're going to be just quickly looking through just the next 2 minutes, looking through the principles and the elements of design. So for the principles, some people might argue that it's up to 12, but I think these eight are the major ones you will be looking at if you are designing. Then when you go deep into that, into design, you begin to see there are other principles that you can apply, but these are the major eight principles that you have. And the rest of the principles still falls on these eight. And even these eight principles, they still fall on majorly three principles and majorly three principles. Then if you apply those three principles, the rest of the principles can be applied for afterwards. So the first principle is contrast. Now contrast is very basic. Contrast is just the difference between one color or one object or one asset with the other, one element with the other. So balance is just having elements at different positions or different or the same position in order to create something appealing. So you could have images on one point part, or you can have text in the other part, just to create a balance. The emphasis is where you put in you try to grab the attention of your viewer by either creating repetition, then bringing something different within the repetition. So it creates the emphasis when you are designing. So hierarchy is also still drawing your viewer's eyes to a particular point or to a particular part. So hierarchy exists in different forms. It exists in size. They exist in size and also exist in colors. So they are in different types of hierarchy that you can apply. So there's repetition. So repetition, as you can actually see here, there's repetition to create either patterns or to create unity when you're working with it. So have white space. White space is making use of the spaces that you do have, which is also an element. Then we also have movement. So movement can be created with having repetition, but repetition with with emphasis and or hierarchy. So in this case, when it comes to movement here, the movement here, you could see that there is repetition of the same shapes but in different hierarchy. So this is bigger and this is less bigger than this is like the smallest. So you could see there's hierarchy here and there's repetition, and that's create movement. So you can combine two principles to create one principle. So those principles are like dependent on the major three principles. So the major three principles are balance, a contrast, and a hierarchy. Balance, contrast, and hierarchy are the major principles that you have to I think you should apply in every design that you do. Let me make that bold: balance, contrast, and hierarchy. So the rest of the other principles do fall or do take the application of these principles. So I have the element of design. Now the element of design consists of lines, shapes, forms, space, texture, color, and typography. I think these are very self-explanatory. Lines are drawn, shapes are also drawn, The shapes should consist of lines, and probably some shapes consist of lines, some shapes are in different forms. Now, space is also an element because you make use of space to make your design come up or pop up or something like that. You have texture of your shape or your form also applies. Then we have different colors. So we have different colors that make the element of design. We also have typography. So some people might argue that typography is not a form of it. It's not a part or an element of design because it consists of shapes that are put together. Like let me say I have the letter T in caps. Good. Now this T is slanted. Let's just make it there. Now T is consisting of two shapes, two rectangular shapes. So we have two rectangular shapes. Want to create those ones, you can draw the shape like that and duplicate it and then paste it that way. So we have our own T. So we could say shapes, we could say typography is an element that is made out of shapes. So that also applies to, but I still call it shape, an element of design. So let's go straight into our design. Now, I love the concept that is being used here. It's giving a lot of white space. The use of white space in this case, that's one of the principles. The use of white space in this case, and I like the way it's being used. So we are going to try and see if we can replicate it, but tweak it to suit something that we just looking at it from a different angle. So I will try and I'll go and get this. I'll just go get this now from the internet. Then I'll also put everything into a file, into a folder. Then it's also in the link, so you can check out for it and use it and follow along as I am designing. Okay, so I do have an image here where I'll be making use of. I'll be making use of this, and I'll import it into the program and let's see what we can do. So I would like to remove the background because it's having a white background. It's a JPEG, and I want to make it a PNG, so I can edit it directly from here, or I can edit it in Photoshop directly from here. And I click on the Photoshop icon down there. It takes me here. Then all I just need to do is click on remove background. Now this is Photoshop 2023, and that is Photoshop Illustrator 2024. So they can sync together and work. You can work with each of them. So now it's done moving the background, but I could see that this part wasn't touched. It's looking into pixelated, so we're going to work on that. So good. Now this is good here. So let's just remove the background for this. Let's select on mask and we'll click on OK. So I do most times I ensure that it's on a new layer here. So I say OK, and it takes me to a new layer, and that's it. So let's remove this part. What we're going to do is going to go to color range, and we choose this color, and so we can be able to clean that up. We'll use our erase tool here, and then we can just comfortably clean this. Now I do not want to touch this because it will make it transparent and that might ruin my design. So deselect that, which is Control D, and I think we have this. So let's see if we can improve the quality of this. We'll go to image, we go to image size, and we ensure that we preserve details 2.0. We click on OK and allow it to process it. So it will make it slightly better, not entirely better, but at least you get the point. I would like to make a little bit of adjustments. I go to shadows and highlights and see how I can tweak it. Not be too much. Good. I think we are okay with this. Now we'll export this as a PNG. Go to that standard PNG size. This is the folder. I'll keep it here, and I'll just call it Mike. Okay. Good. So now it's saved in Mike. All we just need to do is go back to Illustrator here. We relink it. So click on this link here and trace it back to where we stored it. So this is where we kept it, and now we can see it is the PNG version. Good. So keep that aside and let's work on our background, which is like one of the main things. Now, this size is a standard Instagram portrait. So let's edit our artboards to a standard Instagram portrait. So in this case, you can come to the right hand side and click on the edit artboard here, or if you want, you can just press Shift O, then it will move into the artboard realm. That's what I call it. So let's adjust the height 1350 and hit it. So this is the standard artboard size for it. So it's a little bit taller than this. So to show you, this is not the correct size, but the correct size for an Instagram portrait is 1080 by 1350 pixels. So let's just work with this, and then we have that. Now let's work on the background. I'm going to be drawing our shape here, make it slightly ash. That's it. We can bring this one to the top. Let's see how it looks before we start. Good. I'm liking it. So now in this case, the designer or the creator made use of a texture, fabric texture here. That's for clothes. I think it's neat. So I got some from the internet. They look a little bit similar, but not exactly the same. I think this is closely. So let's do that. Zoom in and raise it up. So we are going to bring it here, right? Bring it to the top. Then we're going to draw a shape on it. Then we'll stop around here. Or if you want, you can just press go down to the bottom, bring it down there. All we're going to do is that we're going to apply a gradient. We're going to apply a linear gradient. It's going to be horizontally. So if you want to check if it's horizontally or stuff like that, you could click on G, takes you to the gradient tool, and you can see it's horizontal. So turn it to be vertically, and then you can adjust it top, bottom, like so. So good. So now we're changing the colors to the ash that we use, and then like so. Then for this part, we are going to reduce the opacity to 0. If it's too high, you can adjust the opacity to the level you want it to be. So in this case, I want it to be like so, and I think this is good enough. Good enough. So now all these parts outside, if you do not want to see them, you could trim them. You go to view, go to trim view, and you can see how it's been trimmed here. So this will give you a clear view of what is going to be exported. Let's still adjust this part down. It's too much. We could take it down like this, bring it back up, and adjust this slider to make it fade, make the fade more smooth. Yeah, in this case, I think this is good. Let's go back to our normal mode here and take it down. So good. So we have our texture there. You can also try something. Let's duplicate this, Ctrl C, Ctrl F, that's paste in front. You click on this so you can clip mask it, and then go send down like that. Good. So we'll have that. Then what I just want to do mainly different is some other things playing in the background, like this shape, and I think this is like another texture. Like this is the same texture being used at the top there, so you could use it. But I don't want to use the same texture at the top. I just want to preserve this texture here and see how I can improvise or put in some different touches and see if we can get something up. So what I want to do is create a shape, a custom shape. So I have my curvature tool. I just draw a anyhow shape, if you want to call it like that. So I'll apply a zigzag effect, but I'll ensure it's smooth, a zigzag effect. Now the reason I'm not seeing anything because there's no stroke, and it's also the same color as the background. So let's change that, and let's make use of, no, that's not it. That's okay, that's it. So go back to that. Let's reduce our points. Yeah, like this. Let's check out this. Good. Make it bigger. I think one is good. So smooth, good. You have this here. Let's go to objects. Let's go to expand appearance so it takes the form of the shape that's been created. Now, what I want to do is come to mesh. And with mesh, I could just use this point and change those points. Just add a point here, you understand? So the color comes from here and the rest of the points fades out. I've done this before in previous tutorials, but I'm going to do it here so you guys can watch. So I'm going to show you one, then the rest of that I'm going to speed it up. So let's add a point using the mesh here. Click on this point here. Let's adjust it and bring it towards the side. So I think there's already a point. Okay, I think there's a point here. It's just connecting. Let's go back and click and add our point right here. Good. So have a point here and also have other points at this point. So we want to make this point fade out. So take it to 0. Point also take it to 0. And we also take it to 0. So you begin to see. So now you can see the idea that I do have for it. That's not a point. That's a point 0. And I think this point is also there. So you can zoom in to see those points that are not 2. So that's 0, 2. That's 0, 2. So I think this point is 0 and this one 2 is 0. So what point again? I think here is also 0. So let's see. Good. Absolutely wonderful. So what I can do here is I could change this main anchor point here. Change that main anchor point to, let me say, this or something like that, but not too far. Now the reason why we're having these orange edges is because the colors that are 0 are also orange, so it's like it's fading from the orange into the green, even though it's 0. So it's like 0, then it's fading in and increasing up to it gets to 100 at the center here. So in that case, if we want to work with that, we have to go back to the mesh tool and adjust, change all the colors here. Or there is a method you can do to select all the points out. You could use the lasso tool. So you could select them like this, like this, like this, like this. Then you go back again like that. And boom. So now this is the only part that's not selected and it's having different colors there. So you could check if there's any other thing that has been selected. Let's go back out there, and I think it selected something that I don't want it to select. So that's it. That's what I want. Good. So let's choose the color for it. Good. So that's one way to get it out, and you can also play with those ones to see. But I think this is much better, and we can manipulate that shape by using the same zigzag effect. Make it smooth. Ridges. Okay. What shape are we on? Oh, we have mesh on it, the mesh effect on it. So let's come back here. Let's see. Let's roughen it up. Okay. So the reason why it's not actually responding is because it's a mesh, so we have to either rasterize it or something like that. But you get the idea what I mean. So if you want to change the shape, probably you want to play with how custom it is, you could click on the points and adjust them to how you want it to be. So something like this. So this will work like so. I do not want that those sharp edges. Okay. Okay. Good. So let's have that. So we'll have this one here, then we can have that one here. Then we can also duplicate this and scale it up, down, just have it move around. Then let's see if we can just clip this and bring these two together. I want to get like a collision thing here. Select the two, group them, and then you can bring this guy here. Scale them down, not too much. So now, so we can have our own text. We can have text. We can start introducing text before we begin to do all these flying things. And I just want my text to be plain, not too much, but we are going to have this guy here and placed there. So let's say it's enter departmental, and using Satoshi, I would love to use outfit, if that is okay. Regular, scale down and increase the tracking. Let's see, you can also increase the tracking by holding on Alt, then using the right and left key. You can also reduce it, so I think I do like that. Good. Now there's a gradient that's been applied on the text. We'll use that gradient in this case. Remember, we are sending back this guy to default and we call it the bit. I think it's the same font he used, but in this case he just made them, just played with them. So in this case, if you want to play with the font to look like this, then you have to something like that. Then we'll have to make this guy an outline, or you can just expand it and double click inside, so you isolate that layer and bring this guy here. Good. Then we can begin to tweak it like this. Yep. Yeah, good. So now there are still one, and bring the competition down. There is no tweak that has been done on the competition. Just make it bigger. Strong, bigger, and just make it big or bold. Then font size should increase, please. Okay. So what we do is, in order for us to get the gradient to be aligned, or we can just work on them separately. So this is what we do. We apply a linear gradient to it. This is a linear gradient. Sorry for that. Let's go to appearance first, add a fill, then you can apply your linear gradient to it like that, like so. So when you click on it and you go to it, you can double click here, pick out, choose this part, sorry, and come here, double click, use the picker and choose that part. And tada, you have that. So check it, good. Now let's also do this. Group them, we give them a fill here, and you choose gradient, and you voila. So that's how we have a gradient applied on text, and outline is very straightforward. So let's have this shape. we can create that shape. It's very easy to create, very easy to create. So what do? We have a star or polygon, any of them, choose three, so have like that. Let's first give it a color. Yeah, good. So what do we do in this case? Make it smaller. Okay, so you reduce it to this size, not too big. So what we do is go to direct selection tool and we tweak it to like so. So I think this is close. Yeah, this is close. And in case you just want to click on side, you can click on it so it highlights and like that, like so. Good. Now this is moving at the axis. I think this is the central part here. So we are going to do the same thing. What do? Is we introduce our rotate tool here, and we can place it this point. So you could just use your eye and do the calculation. Hold on your Alt key, click on it, and it shows you a panel. Is it panel you call it? Then we can rotate, I think, at 45 degrees. 45 degrees. For it to go the other way and not this way. So you put a minus in front here and see how it goes. So make a copy of it and control D to duplicate it. So I think this is a little bit sharp. We should also work on that. So you can select the three of them if you want, and then click on those three. Hold on your shift to select those three, and you can do like so. You can group them and go back to your selection tool and we place it over here. Good. But if you see one is darker, so use the picker to make that dark. Is that dark? I'm not sure. It's not dark. Let's go out there. Let's ungroup them so we can work on them individually. We select this part which is dark, and then this one is less dark. And okay, you can select the three of them and group them. So let's begin to add the rest of our text. So I'm going to speed up this video, speed up this part while you just watch along. So let's go straight. Good, so now I'm done with the whole text. Let's see how we can just adjust this. Group them, take them to the top, sorry. Let's group them. Good. So let's have this shape here. If you want, you can use the pencil tool, or the pencil to draw it manually, or if you want, you can just have a star again, there. Turn it like so, and you draw to this point, and you draw it to the other end, and you can squish it inside. So I think that also serves. We'll be applying the gradient we have. Sorry, let's click on that, then apply the gradient. Yeah, we have them. And then yeah, so we have a lot of space down here. We have a little bit space at the top. Can take this guy here, take this guy here. So have this so it doesn't intercept or interrupt with the text and stuff like that. In case you're not feeling too good with it, let's deselect that, and then also deselect that. Sorry, I think I'm having, okay, select everything, right? Deselect this and deselect it, bring it down again. Good, having our dates here. what do we do to do that? Shape, draw our ellipse, drag and draw. Then we have our point here. Add one point here and another point here, and then we go to direct selection to zoom in, please. For precision, click and drag. If you want to make it sharp, you can adjust the handles like so. And so we have that. So just avoid any long talk, do that and push it. Remember, it should be under it. So we do have make that one dark, like black, and then make this one the orange that we do have here. So that's how you do it. It's very simple. Let's say 26. If you want, you can. I don't support you stretching text, but when you understand, then you can start doing that. But I do not like it when people do stretch text, especially graphic designers. It's a terrible thing to do. It's like nightmare. So say. So you can make some bigger. Then the technique is, as it's big, you introduce the Gaussian blur to it. I think 20 should be enough. Okay, so it gives it more soft, like it's more soft when it's being used. So in this case, you could add other text, or if you have other information, to add them right there. So this is how we can create or replicate this design with our own little idea, just to top it off. And so is it a go? Is it a good one, or is it making it worse? So there's something here at the bottom here. I think we can also make use of that style. Let us see if we can just use our curvature tool instead. So if you double click, it creates a point, like a corner, and not a bend, not a curve, like a sharp point. So when I double click there, I double click here, it's straight. I double click here, it's straight. I double click also straight. But now I don't want it to be straight, I want it to be curved. So I curve here, I click there, and wow. So that's what you can do. You have that, you duplicate it, send that one to the back, and ensure it's this guy for us. So you too can emit our, can you be, should you be black? Nope. Should you be blue? Too blue, that's too blue. I think, let's see if we can adjust it. I use HSB and make it darker. Yeah, good. So you can take this one to the top. So that's good. So that's, thank you guys for watching. It's a go or it's a no, like yeah, from the description. So thank you guys. Talk to you later. Welcome everyone to today's tutorial. Today we're going to see how we can conceive or probably bring out, let me conceive again now.